Hello.
And welcome, or welcome back, to Party Trick Astrology. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I enjoyed it. No, I liked it. Normally I hate that shit, but I'm like, this is entertaining.
Okay.
I'll keep watching.
And this is Mars and Virgo.
Yes. Oh, I'm Shaina.
Oh, and I'm Mina.
And this is Mars and Virgo.
So, let's talk about the basics about Virgo.
Yes.
Ruled by Mercury,
Earth,
mutable, and
it's the Virgin. They hold wheat.
they hold wheat. So if you're gluten intolerant, stay away.
Yeah, watch out.
And it rules the stomach. So that's your erogenous zone as well. But let's not start off right off the bat with erogenous zones. Let's talk about anger.
Anger. So Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is communication. Mars is anger. Mars, communication, anger, communication, talking.
Mutable. Doesn't really know how to stick up for itself.
Yeah. Or not necessarily that it can't stick up for itself, but it just kind of can more or less go with the flow of how others are feeling, kind of.
Yeah, although it's a very nitpicky sign, very critical. Mars in Libra is like pretty passive aggressive, but like so passive aggressive that you're not going to notice because they're going to be shit talking behind your back to their friends. Mars in Virgo does want you to know that they're upset and they disapprove, but they're going to be passive aggressive about it.
But not even, I feel like there's a better word that we need to create than passive aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like something aggressive, like openly passive aggressive almost.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I think I don't know, like I think that's the best way because like
Openly passive aggressive.
Yeah.
They do want to fight, but what you'll learn about Mars and Virgo is that they're not the initiator at all. So they're going to poke at you until you fight with them, and then they're like, aha, look at my arsenal of well-crafted
like rebuttals. And they're like, I spent all yesterday planning out how this argument was going to take place, and now that I'm in the victim standpoint, I can also use that in my arsenal, and I have all these well-crafted statements and arguments, but if that person says something that they were not planning on them saying, it is like,
where do I go from
I've
here?
lost control.
System
I'm a Virgo.
discompute.
Well, you know what? Let's pick at you again.
Well, you, and this is what makes me upset about you. And they're not a fixed sign, so it's like when you're arguing with a Mars and Virgo, it is easier to kind of throw them off from their argument because a fixed sign is going to be like, you can't say anything that's going to change my mind or keep me off my path. But with a mutable sign, it's easier to throw them off, even though Virgo's going to try to plan how the argument is going to go. And obviously, they're going to plan to win. Doesn't always happen.
And also because, like, Virgo is a very intellectual sign, they're just, even if they're wrong, they're going to sound smarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to have more well-crafted sentences and elocution, or whatever. Or if they even are in the right, then they're just going to sound just like, I don't know, I feel like I would almost be like, wow, they sound like they know what they're talking about, so they must be right.
Or
like,
they can really make you feel bad for like whatever you do or like your standpoint in the argument just because they're so
logical with it. Or at least they seem like they're logical. Maybe they have a lot of water in their chart and they're really just like emotional, but their Mars and Virgo will just like make everything seem logical and smart, even if it's not. Maybe it is, and then that fact, then you're good.
Sometimes it is like kind of someone who's really trying to seem logical and smart and it's not coming off in the same way because like the other person maybe has even more Virgo in them or they're a Virgo sun sign.
Like I feel like somebody with like all this Pisces and then like an opposing Mars and Virgo would just like be like the weirdest thing because they're trying to sound smart, but in reality they're like off in no man's land.
But their method is to use intellectual ammunition.
Totally. Yeah, it's like it's Earth, so it's not fiery. Again, like I think Earth Marses are a pretty good place to have it because it's going to be a very grounded person that you're talking with for the most part, and you're not going to really explode more or less because especially like Mars and Virgos won't want to explode because they need their time to form their argument and they need their time to form like that mental part of it.
Moving on to drive. So Mars and Virgo they're a hard worker, because Virgo is a hard worker.
Totally.
But it's not a fire sign, so it's not like really aggressive after what they want to go after, and
It's mutable.
it's mutable. It's not an initiator. So I find a lot of times, not necessarily like if you have a lot of fire in your chart or whatever, this may not be true, but I've met a lot of Mars and Virgos who just don't really know where they want to go.
Yeah, or even how to start.
Yeah. Or they don't really know what goal to kind of go after. Like they can make the steps to go after something in a really, like, what am I trying to say?
I don't want to interrupt you, but I think this might help. Like, I feel like there'd be somebody that would be great with assignments.
Yeah.
Because then they can find how, because it's an earth sign, so they know how to finish things, and like, they're also super smart, and they like that kind of methodical approach. But it's that, like, having to make an assignment for yourself kind of thing, or like having to initiate yourself is going to be a lot harder. But it's like, once the groundwork is laid out, then you can do the steps needed. Kind of.
It's also ruled by Mercury, so it's like the little things. They're really good at the little things, and big picture is harder for them. They might not know like where to go in the next step of their life, but if they knew, they would be able to get there, if that makes sense.
Okay, so moving on to sex, I have come to find that I personally think there are like two different kinds of Mars and Virgos. Now, obviously, like, they can mend, or like you can have aspects, but like, just like, this is what I personally think, is that there's like the Mars and Virgo, which I think is kind of like, if there was a version of like Mars and Virgo and its detriment, and Mars and Virgo and its like, what's the opposite of detriment? Like,
Exaltation.
I guess it's like exaltation or whatever. Exaltation. Then like I think this version is its detriment, which is just like the Mars and Virgo would be just like lay there, and like the ultimate submissive, just like they don't want to really do anything. They just like, or I don't know, like I think there can be, depending on your chart, like that's just like, again, like,
no, but even
it's
with like a sign in Scorpio, they may seem like, I want to like take you over and blah blah blah, like a sun sign, I mean. And then you get to Mars and Virgo and you're like, okay, this person's gonna take me over and blah blah blah, and then you get into the bedroom and they just lay the
there.
fuck down.
Yeah.
And you're like, excuse me.
Yeah, and you're like, what is happening? So that's definitely like, okay, and like I have an example of this, and like I don't know her sexually, but like she was my best friend in like freshman year of high school, and she was like super active on Twitter throughout high school. Like she would tell everybody her entire life, and she was like crazy. She was Pisces. But like she was super like sexually open on Twitter, and like just in real life, like she's a stripper and stuff. And like my friend, like she would like have sex in a party with like the door open, but she posted something, and like she's super open about everything. And she's a Mars and Virgo though, and she posted something on Twitter, and I died when I saw it, because it was like something about how she would never get on top. Like
she would do anything. She would do anything in the world sexually, but not get on top.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's so Mars and Virgo. Like,
yeah, because another thing is like, it's the virgin, but also kind of the servant.
Yeah.
So it wants to serve you, but in a different way than Mars and Libra, because it wants to serve you by just laying.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, is like, then there's, I think, Mars and Virgo in its like exaltation, which is like, it wants to serve you in any way, almost. Like, I feel like it can be in that sense of like, you want this, then I'll give you this, and that kind of thing. Like, it is like, then I think that's much of a better thing. And they can have this, like, I think with any earth sign, Mars is like an earthy sensuality, and and also like maybe they have more of like fiery positions in, or maybe it's in like a fiery house, or like it has different aspects or something. Then it can be more like not just lay there kind of person, but it will still have this kind of like intellectual thing to it, where they're kind of intellectualized sex. And I feel like Mars and Virgo, like their brain will never rest. Like
maybe they like to talk dirty.
Oh yeah, like very talkative about things, or like I just think that they're not, it's like Mars and Virgo is not the kind of position that will like ever fully be able to be in the moment, because they're always going to be like but but if I
But
do this,
at least they're more grounded with the earth.
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, they can be like running. Their minds can be running. I think the biggest difference. I know that I've been comparing Mars and Libra to Mars and Virgo, but it's just because they're
very can be
pretty
similar.
But the biggest difference that I see is in the symbols, because Libra is the scale, so Mars and Libra is really going to want to balance and like fill whatever place that they need to do to balance it. But Mars and Virgo is the Virgin, which by no means means innocence.
No.
But the Virgin just doesn't necessarily know what to do. Not saying that you don't know what to do if you're a Mars and Virgo, but the Virgin is, what I mean to say is the Virgin is going to take the lead of whoever else. You know, they can be open to anything, but they're going to take the lead of, you know, if we're going literally, like the more experienced person, but in just a Mars and Virgo sense, just like the more dominant person. Two Mars and Virgos, we know a couple like that. I don't know how that's working out. No, I know they're like fine, but I don't know what goes on in.
Again, like, but that also has to do with like aspects and house placement.
Yeah.
Like having a Mars and Virgo in a fiery house is going to be very different than having a Mars and Virgo in a watery house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or like intercepted in a watery house or something. Like that's just me to be the person that honestly probably just lays there. Like, oh yeah, and a thing with Mars and Virgo is they're gonna like the idea of like being dominated.
I know that like when they're gay, I'm like, are you a bottom?
Oh yeah. No, Mars and Virgo's like that's like something like a bottom.
Yeah.
Oh well, the stomach is supposedly the erogenous zone.
Mm-hmm. No, I can see that. Like, just liking someone touching your stomach, or not just anyone touching your stomach, or even like if you have a Mars and Virgo, you might be attracted to other people's stomachs. Like you might be all about the six-pack abs, or like all about the girls in the crop tops.
Okay. Also maybe even like if like a guy were to like hold you like around your stomach or something, or things like that.
And again, like digestive sensitivity.
Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, I think that's the whole Mars and Virgo.
That's
gist.
about that.
And we hope you enjoyed Danny. I'm only calling her out because she asked for it so much.
I noticed that the only dislike that we have on any of our videos is our Moon in Virgo, and I'm like, that's so typical. Virgo placements are going to be the most critical. So bring on the dislikes.
Yes, bring it on. No, I like it though. It's like we're doing something controversial. Yeah. This is good. No, okay. Anyways, that's all. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching.